Okay, so boom. You finally realize the power of emails and owning your own data. So you create a newsletter and get a landing page fired up. You send out your first email and bloop, it's in the promotions folder. Unless you're an e-commerce company, I'm sorry to tell you, but the promotion folder is not going to help you. This is why you should get ConvertKit. ConvertKit specializes in keeping your email in the primary folder so you can increase your open rates and communicate with your audience. They also have beautifully designed landing pages and squeeze pages for you to capture more emails. I personally love the fact that they have good support. Support from you is everything. If I have a problem, I need to know I can get someone on the line or have a video that answers all of my questions. Hustlers don't give up. They say, yo, let me figure this out. I figured it out with ConvertKit. And let's start the show.
Ready.
Yes, once again, back with another one.
Back in the building. Wildcard episode Monday morning. We're here to bring it to you, man.
Yes, indeed. Hello and welcome to the Hustle for Everything podcast. I'm Alex.
And I'm Owen.
And this is the podcast where you receive stories, tips, and strategies from entrepreneurs who've done it. Today is a wild card episode. That means there's no guests. It's just us kicking it, talking to you.
It's chopping it up, man.
You get me?
Exactly.
So, man, where should we start? Dogecoin.
Dogecoin.
Talk to me about it, bro.
The thing about Dogecoin, I'll say this. I've been in crypto for some time, right? Mm-hmm. And back in 2017, I think I was like maybe my third year in uni. The whole thing about cryptocurrency just started coming through, man. Like Ethereum, Bitcoin, Litecoin. I was like heavily into this stuff. You go into this market, of course you gotta be ready to lose money. At the time, I made some change, but I sold my thing over Coinbase and Binance. But Dogecoin is one of those meme coins that's coming up right now. It's kind of in line with what's going on with Gamestop and all these stocks that are coming up. So I'm thinking about Dogecoin just went up 500% in the past couple of days, right? Just fueled by this whole Reddit culture that we're seeing, how us young people are coming through with defying the norms and rallying together to really boost something up so we can all make money. It's kind of you're throwing logic out the window when you're putting your money, you're riding the wave, man. So crypto, I'm heavily into it. But I'm coming back into it. I'm more into the stock market again. But crypto is something you've been wanting to get into for some time now. And just the whole investing game and everything like that. What do you think about this whole thing that's going on?
Man, I can't wait to get into it. I honestly can't wait. I actually just applied for Wealth Simple.
Which app? The Trade or
Trade?
The Trade.
Trade. Yeah. I'm about to do an Invest as well. It's good to have both of them in. Mm-hmm. So I'm excited, man. It's a great time to be alive right now.
It is. It is.
So, but break down Dogecoin though. So actually, let's take a step back. Mm-hmm. What was going on with GameStop, or should I say GameStonk?
GameStonk. So what happened is, so just to give an overview, there are people who are called hedge funds, and then there's people who bet against the market. So when the market is betted against and they're right, they make a lot of money. So a couple of guys on Reddit, this group called Wall Street Bets, they did their research and they realized the most shorted stock currently going on right now is GameStop stock. So they're okay, this is heavily over shorted. It was around 125% over shorted. So these guys are okay, these suits, Wall Street Bets call them suits, guys on Wall Street hey, these guys are suits. They're saying this thing is dead. This retail brand is dead. No. We're not going to deal with that. We're not going to have that. These guys are very, bro, 125%, when you're shorted it that much, means if someone comes and presses you and short squeezes you, you're finished. So Reddit, they all rally together. They all say, okay, hey guys, you know what? These guys think this stock is dead. We're going to show them differently. Let's all rally together and buy this stock. So that's what happened. So Elon Musk gets a hold of this and he tweets at the subreddit. He tweets GameStonk. And this is what started the frenzy. A big investor, CEO of Social Capital, Chamath Palihapitiya, he was one of the VPs of Facebook. He tweets, hey, what is going on? What's a stock that I can get into that, hey, I want to learn something new. Give me like the background on what to do. So guys tell him GameStop, GameStop, GameStop. He goes to Wall Street Bets. So this is a billionaire chilling on a Reddit forum, like unprecedented, right? He takes 100K, invests in GameStop. He makes 400K. He takes his principal and leaves. So now when Chamath does this, everybody starts getting into the stock. So this stock in November was, I think, $2. Is it? No, it's like around $9.
Split up.
At the same time, yeah. It was like definitely like in the low. Like the GameStop stock last spring was $2. Coming into November, it started rising up to like 9, 10, and then in January, that's when it got really, really like overpowered by like the Wall Street Bets group, and it's now sitting at like I think $329 USD. But yeah, man. So what's going on right now is Wall Street and these hedge fund guys, especially like Melvin Capital, they're short squeezed, right? Meaning that if you are shorting a stock and the stock rises, that means you're going to have to buy back the stock at that price just to cover your losses. So the more it keeps going up, the more you have to buy back to get back your principal, like your initial investment, which is very hard for them to do. So that's why Wall Street's pissed. And man, the aftermath that's coming after this thing is just historic. No one's ever seen something like this before.
Without a doubt. So I just looked it up. Right in November, it was $16, which is actually pretty high because it went back down to like I think $3 or $4 2 weeks ago, and now it's at around $325. It's back up. People are buying it again.
People are buying it, bro.
Yeah, so it's actually about to go back up. And right now, so what's happening with Wealthsimple? Do you want to break it down for the people? Not Wealthsimple, Robinhood.
Robinhood. So Robinhood is another trading platform. They came out with the notion is democratizing finance for all, right? So their whole notion is to make the little guy, the retail traders, people like you and I, have a chance at wealth, right? Because wealth has been all about the suits, the Wall Street guys, the guys behind the quantitative computers, they know all the knowledge. But now you're giving your regular Jane and Joe a chance to be rich. So now with Wall Street Bets rallying behind the stock, a lot of people are using Robinhood in the States to buy GameStop and other stocks, all these other retail stocks. So what goes on is that Melvin Capital and all these big hedge fund guys, they go to GameStop and other trading platforms and they tell them, hey, stop trading this stock. You can only sell it, but you can't buy anymore, because the more that people are buying the stock, the more these guys are losing money. So what's going on in right now is these guys are trying to manipulate the market to make the little guys sell their stock. And that is just so unethical. You can't do that. You can't stop me from buying a stock only because now you're losing. But the thing is, these guys have been doing this for years. They've been manipulating stocks. They've been going to the media saying so and so and so. They've been doing this. And now when the little guy actually gets something over them, they're now pissed. It's kind of like when the bully gets bullied. Now they start crying, right? But they've been they only like when the rules are like they only like breaking the rules. But once you break the rule, their own rules, now they're pissed.
It was a lap dog for the rich and a guard dog for the poor.
Yeah,
And what Google did is even more a testament to that statement, because Google salvaged Robinhood's 1-star ratings by deleting nearly 100,000 negative reviews. That's unheard of.
Man, how could legit think about that? So you're saying, hey Google, we care about the truth, right? Whatever the customer thinks, we're powering them to really communicate and let other people know what type of establishment you have. And now you come in and save them? Like, that is just, bro, till this day, I just can't comprehend what's going on. You know
Honestly,
what I'm saying?
Yeah. This is history right here. This is going to be in a movie. We're living in 2 movies right now. The pandemic is definitely going to be a movie.
Yeah.
And now this actual part of the stock market is going to be another movie.
I mean, like, man, thinking about even just how the establishment, and just think about like the bigger picture here, bro. Right? This is like revenge for what happened in '08. Think about it like this, right? They knew. So these little kids, not want to say little kids, but when this happened, '08, the '08 housing market crash, we were like in grade 8, grade 9. We were high school kids. We were entering high school, right? And now we have found a way to compete with the hedge fund guys. The one thing that pisses me off is that these hedge funds and these analysts think that people like us, we don't have the capacity or the knowledge to really do what they do. But the thing is, they don't know is the internet has opened up the playing field for everybody, right? The IBM quantitative machines, we have access to that now more than ever, you know? So what's going on right now is that people are making money and they don't like the fact that we're making money like them. And the fact that now the distribution of wealth moving forward is going to look a lot different, they don't like that.
Of course not, man. And same thing with the GameStop, man. You know, GameStop, it's not GameStop, Clubhouse has seen an unprecedented amount of traffic within the last 6 months, and now they're valued at $1 billion. You know, we touched on this on the last podcast. We wanted to go deeper in. Like, what do you have for the people?
I mean, it's the same thing we see time and time again, right? Us as a culture, we really, really drive the value of these of all these apps, right? We drive the jokes, the memes, the dances that you see on these apps, the sayings, like just the whole environment is brought by the culture, meaning like Black culture. And historically, we know what's going on. We know we drive the value of these things, but then when we've been trying to make our own platforms. The issue here is that we're trying to make our own platforms, but they don't get as much recognition and time of day from investors. Like, let's say like a Black founder would have found like a Clubhouse, which there are people who've been having this idea, you know, i.e. Chameleonaire, right? We spoke about this before when we went to California at Afrotype. We had a conversation with Chameleonaire and he pitched us on the same concept, Convos. But that was like 4 years ago. But Convos now has, I think you mentioned it last time, 5,000 users.
Yeah, around there.
Yeah. So there's something behind this, bro. There's a bigger issue here at play. Is it us as people that we don't get behind our own entrepreneurs? Or what is it?
So, you know, one thing I thought that was interesting is that Kev on stage, you know, brought up a claim refuting that. He said that his platform, the Kev on Stage app, has over 10,000 downloads, which is great. You know, he has a platform where people are supported continuously, and has 10,000 people supporting him, and he makes about $7.99 per month for people. So that's, you know, like $70,000 a month
from the subscribers.
Exactly.
Wow,
that's solid.
That's a lot of bread.
You know what I'm saying? So that's amazing. You know, but he's not getting publicly. He needs to talk his shit. Like no one knows about. Have you heard about this before? This?
Yeah, I saw you post that video on Instagram, and then I checked it out. I was like, wow, like I didn't know you have like your own Netflix which promotes Black content, right? And there's one other platform you showed me, like where you and Kristen watch all this
Black and Sexy.
Yeah, right? Yeah. So it's like a Netflix for Black. Is it comedy or just like? It's just dramas?
Overall dramas, you know, rom-coms, you know, period pieces. Actually, no, about period pieces. I don't think they have that. But yeah, Black and Sexy was cool. You know, it's a good thing to watch with your lady, and it's only like $10.99, I believe, or $9.99.
Yeah.
So those are some apps y'all can check out. You know what I'm saying? So now, with everything going on with, you know, Clubhouse and GameStop, everyone's been moving to Bitcoin and Dogecoin. Have you got in?
I mean, I have a position in Bitcoin, but it's nothing more than like $500.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's legit nothing. Yeah.
And what about Dogecoin?
I don't know much about it.
Have you put any money in?
Nah. I'm kind of like observing it. Like, you know, the thing is, it's not even worth anything right now, but it's just there's a whole rally behind it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Got you. All right, let's take a break and come back with more. Awesome. All right, now, let's talk about the podcast playlist. You're about to drop some fire right now. I'm excited for it.
These guys don't know what's about to hit them, man.
We're about to drop a solid podcast playlist. It's called Rap or Go to the League. I came up with it like on a whim, and as soon as I said it, you just like...
You were hesitating on the name, though.
Yeah, I was hesitating.
Why did you hesitate on the name?
Because this came to me, I was like, I was thinking. I didn't even think it was like all that, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I didn't know it resonated so hard.
Yeah.
But it's been a journey creating this. So far, we have some amazing guests about to be on the podcast playlist, including Jabrilla Goro, Carl, Edwin, who's in esports, Mario Armstrong,
Paul C. Brunson.
Shout out to Paul. Yeah, it's going to be a dope playlist, so make sure y'all tune in when we drop that. Basically, the notion of the playlist is to interview people who do not rap or who do not play sports, but are successful Black male entrepreneurs. We don't have enough resources as Black male entrepreneurs to really go in and see like, hey, this is a guy who is just like me, who created a whole business, a whole path for himself that does not have to do with sports or going to the league. Because let's be real, like, how many people make it to the league?
Man, it's a league of 400 players in the world, right? Before, you're just competing with other American kids, but over the years, we've seen international players get drafted. So you're not just competing with U.S., you're competing with Canada now, which has the second most international players after U.S. Compared to the Europeans, their game is getting tight. Luka Doncic. So the game to really be a pro ball player, it's 1 out of every 5,000 basketball players, let's say in the U.S., will make it have a shot at the league.
Exactly. So you're almost more likely to become like a rapper than a basketball player. Like,
but bro, we gotta establish what is becoming a rapper. Like, are we talking about commercial success?
Commercial success, I'd say. Yeah, for sure. Or at least local success where you can, live off your career. The point is to have a sustainable living. So creating a sustainable living as a rapper, as a artist. I was thinking if you should include producers in there.
Producers?
Yeah. Should they be grouped into the rapper bag?
I think producer, it's easy. You can become a producer, but you don't need the fame and recognition to be known as a producer, right? So you can make that an honorable living. I think one of the core reasons we're doing this is to showcase that what we think is success, right? Because that's all we've known, right? I think as a journalist, like Black community, those are the only things that we see as success. And speaking about in previous podcast episodes, we broke this down in Black in America, how we have been, historically, the opportunities to have access to proper homes, proper education, job opportunities have never been available to us. So the only way of success that you see is through athletics or music or entertainment. And when you don't have anything else, when you can't go to school, you can only play ball or football, basketball, or you just have to sing, and hopefully you have your way out. So I think we need to change the conversation. I think that's what we're doing with this is we are putting ourselves in the conversation. We are taking control of the narrative and putting that up, because people know there's a lot of successful Black men and women, but they just don't get celebrated, even with the media channels. Like, you have to go through a Black station to really hear these people, or they have to be extremely successful till you know about them. For example, Tristan Walker, right? Bro, actually, to be honest with you, Tristan was one of those people that I saw getting celebrated.
Speak up, man. I see you talking in like a soft voice. Talk to me, man. Talk up.
No, man, I'm just saying, I think maybe it's my cough, bro.
Yeah.
But like, Tristan was that person who I saw that made me believe even harder. Right? Yeah. Like, when is the last time you saw a Black tech entrepreneur on TechCrunch, on Fortune, on...
Calendly guy was the last one.
Who?
Calendly. Wasn't Tomi?
Topi, but that's just
Topi.
recent. That's just recent, right?
Yeah.
But Tristan was one of those guys who was like the darling of Silicon Valley for years. And Since then, there's been a lot more people who have just come up and just like, hey, we're going in there. Okay, you have the Morgan DeBonds who's actually putting herself in there with the tech culture in the community. So we need more of those, right?
100%. We need our own PayPal mafia.
Yeah.
Who do you think is going to be the closest thing to a PayPal mafia, in your opinion?
Man, I wish they all came from the same team, but Ryan Leslie, Tristan Walker. Man,
You know what I'm saying? Is there a company that you think could have like a PayPal mafia? Like maybe Squire. Squire could possibly have a PayPal mafia.
But they only have 2 guys though.
Yeah, but I'm saying you have to develop a team around them. You know what I'm saying? If they hire correctly.
If they hire correctly.
They could. Because they got the bread now. This is 365. 365 M's. Shout out to them, yo. I wish I had like a gunshot, like, you know.
This is where we pop the champagne bottle.
Facts.
So we got to put in that. We got to pop the champagne here. But yeah, Calendly, Tope, if he has like a lot of more, he's a Nigerian tech CEO, so that's big. If he has more people around him, maybe they can develop a team that comes out of that. But if we don't attach a company to it, I can see Tristan, I can see Ryan Leslie in there, Rodney Williams of Listener. We've been trying to get him on the show actually.
Oh, yeah.
But he developed like a audio technology which I think got acquired by a different company, or they joined or they merged together. So that's who I can think of so far. But we need more, man. I mean, of course I know other people, but if I mention them, no one's really gonna know about them like that. But of course we have the Tristans, we have the Ryan Leslies, and then we got the Rodneys, and then we got like other people who are working to make it right now.
I mean, you can think of Harlem Capital maybe as a Black PayPal mafia.
John Henry?
You know what I'm saying? Because John Henry's left and he's gone to do something with insurance. You know, and that team is predominantly black, and they're all talented. So once they leave, they can go on to make like amazing ass companies. So maybe that could be it. I don't know, man.
But I never got to ask you like what, because you brought up the idea of rap will go to the league, right?
Yeah, for sure.
What really started this train of thought for you?
Representation. You know, there's only a few of us who are able to see someone who's done it and be like, oh, they did that. I want to go do that. You know, like I said in our first interview, you know, I saw Jabril and I was like, oh shit, there's a guy, you know, in Thailand right now that's creating a whole business in Thailand.
Yeah.
Like that's crazy. I want to go do that. So that's kind of what led me to do it. So I'm like, all right, if that happens to me, how many other Alexes can we make? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's kind of like my motivating factor of, you know, creating that representation at scale, where someone can come in and just look at it and be, oh, there's so many lanes here I could take, and then just hop in one and, you know, go for it.
And to be honest with you, man, when I was doing, so we have Jabril coming up as a guest for the Rap Will Go to the League series. As I was researching more into him, I couldn't help myself but think about you, bro. And you've been such a great like advocate for what he does, and the more I looked into it, the more I understood why, right? Because you are doing what he's doing, but he's like doing it at like scale, right? He's elevated. Of course he has years on you, right? That doesn't mean like you won't get there. I mean, I'm sure you would, but the way he lives his life, and one of the things that you really hone in on is you're doing all this to be liberated, to be free, to have autonomy. And I can see why like you're so, you know, you were like so headstrong on getting him on the show and talking to him and picking his brain and everything. And I for me, the feeling I'm having right now, bro, is just the fact that this is someone you've always looked up to, and now you actually get to bring him on your platform and actually talk to him and get to know him even more.
Yeah, most definitely. It's going to be an interesting podcast, man. Speaking of which, because he's currently in Bali right now. So did you hear about the Bali influencer who got deported?
No, what happened?
Oh my goodness. All right, so this girl named Kristen on Twitter, said that she's moved out of America and went to Bali, Indonesia for a year with her girlfriend. And in this thread,
She went with her girl. So she's a girl going with her girlfriend.
Yeah,
Okay.
she's a lesbian, and she goes to Twitter, has a thread on how she, moves to Bali, and is living in this bungalow, treehouse in Bali, living a lavish lifestyle. And one thing she mentions that she's not paying taxes.
Where does she mention this?
Because she's on Twitter, on the thread. She creates a whole thread, and she creates an ebook selling people on the fact that she's going there, that they should go there and not pay taxes and enjoy the services of Bali. And then wants to have consultations and create a whole business around, going to Bali and enjoying their own life, escaping the American panorama and trying to,
The panoramic.
exactly, and trying to, go on vacation.
Mm-hmm.
So first things first, at face value, what do you think about that?
Is to say it was all good just a week ago, bro. I just don't understand why you have to go broadcast that to Twitter, especially something as
trying to sell an ebook on how other people can go and join her. You get me? That was her goal.
But as an American citizen, don't you think you're gonna get booked? That's one of the things. I'm just like, what are you doing?
Especially as a black American citizen. Man, by the way, shout out to the Friend Zone, because this story was highlighted by a friend on the Friend Zone, and that's how I got with it. And, they inspire us to do the Wildcard episode. Just want to put that in there. But yeah,
thanks, Friend Zone. Mm-hmm. For me, like, the thing about taxes, it's very delicate, right? And I'm actually writing about taxes for tomorrow's newsletter, The Underrated, which is gonna actually say today. So a lot of companies such as Apple, Amazon, they evade taxes. They have tax havens in different countries. For example, Tim Cook, Apple has like tens of subsidiaries all around the world. So what he does, since these are foreign companies, he actually registers them as an Irish company, right? So because in Ireland, you only pay 12.5% tax. So instead of actually coming back to America, where you have to pay 35% federal tax for your business, all the income that comes back from the thing, since he doesn't have to live there. I mean, I'll break it down. But essentially, what they do is like there's different tax loopholes for businesses. We know that. The reason they have leverage is because they're Apple, they're Amazon. They provide so much value to the economy, and they provide a lot of employment, which is like so easy for the government to turn a blind eye towards this. For us as civilians, we gotta be like, they look to get everything out of us, right? If you miss like a tax, bro, I remember missing like OSAP. I remember I said something when I was applying to OSAP, and I just said one number wrong, which made the whole number look different. And I was banned from getting OSAP. You know what I'm saying? So they're harsher on us. So I'm just like, why are people not aware of the things that can go wrong when you go speak about taxes out of everything? This is how they make money. This is how they fund the whole economy. I just think it's very ill-advised. Even if you're trying to sell a course, I think you can just like word it different. You can be more coy about it.
How would you be coy about it?
Okay, that's an interesting question. I'll try and make hooks about it. I'd be like, hey, there's a way I found.
Have it on the back end.
Have it in the back end, bro. Have it a way, like a code word about it. And then get the people in it with the emails, and then like sell them more about what you're doing. Gotcha. But don't go on Twitter, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Twitter is not your friend.
It's not your friend, bro. That's why I can't talk reckless as I used to, like back then. Because like not everyone's monitoring your Twitter.
But also too is that like if she gets sick, is she not going to use the hospital there? Is she not going to use? If she gets sick in Bali, is she going to go to the hospital? Probably. She's probably going to use their services. She's going to take up space as a rich person in Bali that the regular citizens wouldn't get to use.
She's taking up the resources.
Exactly.
And you're not even a citizen.
You're not paying taxes.
And you're just like legit just koaling us and then broadcasting it publicly. Yeah. And then going to take over what we're doing.
Exactly.
And leave no bed for the next person.
Exactly. So she posted this on Twitter, and someone asked her a question. She said, "Hey, I'm just going to sleep. I'll wake up in the morning and answer this." She woke up, and everyone was livid.
Oh,
She
hell
was
broke
viral,
loose.
bro. She was in the Indonesian newspapers.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was insane. It's
Imagine
insane.
just waking up and feeling a wrath, bro.
Yeah. So yeah, if you're listening, I'll put it in the, I'll put a link in the description for you to check out the story because it's so interesting. I thought it was hilarious. Speaking of citizens, though, man, one thing I want to talk to the people about:
What's up?
owning land in Canada.
Okay. Yes.
So
We were put on some game
yeah,
by your missus, actually, too.
by my missus, exactly. So do you know that it's hard to actually own land in Canada? A lot of us own houses, but the land in Canada is solely owned by the British Queen Elizabeth II, who is the head of state here. I'll read that for you one more time. The land in Canada is solely owned by Britain's Queen Elizabeth, who is also the head of state. Y'all hearing me? So in other words, you can try to own land, but you actually don't. It's like a crown law that happens here. So Canadian law is in most provinces evolved from British common law. So instead of directly owning land, Canadians have land tenure. That means they can only own land in an interest in the state. So instead of directly owning land, Canadians have a land tenure. It was crazy when I heard this.
What shocked you about this?
I thought we could own land. I thought you could actually, like, if you get the money, you could own the land.
So you thought, like, okay, yo, I get the house, I get my mortgage, I go to that lot, I buy that lot. That means that's my house.
Mm-hmm.
But
And that's my land as well.
That's your land, right?
Mhm.
But we were, like, a little backstory here. So we were arguing with I was having a healthy debate with Alex's girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
I was defending Adamson's barbecue, and I was telling him that, hey, he has the right to kick people off his property. But Kristen actually came through with the knowledge, and she says, hey, they have a right to go stop that business. And I was like, what do you mean they have the right to go? I mean, that's private property. And she said something so profound. I'm like, she's like, no, everyone's property belongs to the government. I'm like, what do you mean it belongs to the government? He's like, no, that's crown land. I'm like, what is crown land? She's just like, every land that you sit on is owned by the queen. I was like, and then we did the research, and then we're like, okay, so we don't own jack then. So we think we're buying real estate, but that land is owned by the actual country, bro.
Yep. That knocked on my feet when I heard that, low key.
But we there's someone who, when they bought their house, they actually bought the land. They owned the land.
Yeah, like Drake did that.
Drake
Drake
did
actually
that.
owns his land. And I remember hearing that in an interview. I think it was the Elliot Wilson interview where he said, I actually own the land. And I was like, what do you mean by that?
You're like, of course you do.
Of course, exactly.
Yeah.
But now it all makes sense. Now it's all put together.
Mm-hmm.
So,
But just think about that. The extent to actually go buy the land,
mm-hmm.
that you need to have, like, why would he do such a thing then? Is it just because the land appreciates value? He dictates. Oh man, is it just because he can dictate the value of the land? Like
that's probably it.
when you actually own it,
You can detect the value.
so you can actually, you don't have. And I'm just talking. I'm kind of just thinking out loud here. So when you go get the land, you usually have to get someone appraising it, the whole area, right? So you might not even have to go through property appraisers to really understand what the value of the land is. It's like, hey, I own the land. I'm going to put the value of it. If you want to buy it, then that's what you pay. Hey, you can go check out the appraisers, but if you want this land, my land, I can put a price to it. Maybe that's it. Maybe it's not. I'm just thinking out loud here, like the benefits of actually owning the land, because it's land. Like, what are you going to do with it? Maybe if jurisdictions, they just come and say, hey, we want to set up shops on this, and they have final say, because there's zoning laws, right? So there's like different zones, like where you can do certain things. If you actually own that land, you actually have total right to say, hey, you can't build that over here.
That's a fact.
So maybe it's like piping, maybe it's wiring, maybe it's fencing. Certain laws such as how high you can have your fence. There's certain laws like that. So perhaps crown land owning your own land can get you past not going through those rules.
Probably. I'm going to look it up right now and let's see.
But in other news, man, February's tomorrow.
Yes, indeed. It's Black History Month. What business deserves the most celebration for Black History Month?
Black businesses.
Yeah, it's Black History Month.
There's a guy in Atlanta. He owns a business called the Gathering Spot.
That sounds familiar.
His name is Ryan. So it's like a place for, it's like the Black WeWork. So it's like a place for Black entrepreneurs, creatives to come together and work and actually put in work in what they're doing.
Okay.
So I think what he's doing, he's planning on expanding. His name is Ryan Wilson. So he's the founder and CEO of the Gathering Spot. So what it does, it's a private membership club deeply rooted in community and culture. So what he's trying to do is debunk what a clubhouse or a membership is all about, and rooted in Atlanta, right, which has like a rich history of segregation and etc. Georgia, the state of Georgia. He's really trying to change that. So that's one business that's gonna boom up because they're huge in Atlanta and they're just prime for expansion into California and etc. I actually commented on his photo and I'm like, hey bro, it'd be dope if you come to Toronto, and he just liked the comments. So let's see if he's gonna do something about it.
Dope. All right, so to circle back for a quick second, only 9.7% of the total land is privately owned, while the rest of Canada is the Crown land. It is administered on behalf of the Crown by various agencies or departments of the Government of Canada. Of the land owned by the Queen, 50% is managed by the provincial government and the rest by the federal government. All of those lands are held as public, known as Crown lands, of course, and mainly used as national parks, forests, private homes, and or for agriculture. So you really got to go through agencies. They really got loopholes that you have to like figure out and go through specific people in order to own land. It's nuts. I don't think they have that in America.
No,
you probably just go and just buy some.
You just buy it. It's America, bro. That's what makes America America, right? What they say, pick yourself up by the bootstraps.
Yeah,
that's what they told everyone. But then it's like, yo, what boots do I even have to pick myself up from?
Yeah, man. Well, I mean, that's kind of goes back to like the whole Wall Street, debacle, is that they're saying it's a free market. So if you provide something good, if you maneuver properly, you should be fine. But in actuality, as we can see, it's not that simple. So,
yeah.
All right, man. So if you were to highlight a Black business for Black History Month, you said you got the Gathering Spot.
Oh, did you want me to answer more?
No. Let's see.
One.
You got one, so we should maybe just give them three.
Three. So yeah. I got the Gathering Spot.
All right. I gave him Kev on Stage, that app. So you can do that one. I think that's solid. I checked out the platform.
It's a solid thing.
It's solid. It's actually very solid. Okay. I highly suggest y'all go check it out. Kev on Stage, Google Play Store, Apple Store, whatever. Check that out. It's good. So
we got that. We've highlighted a lot of businesses which people know. So we got like the Blavities, the Walker and Companies.
That's not Black owned anymore. Should we consider that Black owned? If a CEO is in place, but the actual owners is a multinational corporation, is that still Black owned?
Nah, it's not truly like the reason why you claim that it's like 100, like 50, more than 50% of the shareholders, like the 50, like the one who owns the majority of the company is a Black man or woman. Yeah. Right. Clear Paints, bruv. Clear Paints.
What's that?
Nicole Gibbons. You remember the one I said I tagged you in the email? She worked with Oprah. I DM'd you her, and she owns a paint company.
What's her name? I'll look up right now.
Nicole Gibbons. She owns Clear Paints. It's a paint company. She sells all these different color paints for homes and suburbs. She's a Black woman. She was actually named top 40 under 40 by Forbes.
Oh.
Yeah, so
she owns the paint company.
Paint company, yeah. So I had a conversation with her to come on the show. So we're in conversations. We're in conversations. You know, Nicole, I know you're hearing this right now. So pull up to the hustle over everything. I know you're a hustler. You've been hustling all your whole life. I read your story, so it'd be good to have a conversation with you on the show.
Most definitely, man. Awesome. Anything else you want to cover, bro?
Man, I just saw an interesting fact.
What's up?
A lot of Canadians are becoming alcoholics now over the pandemic.
Really?
Yes. Alcohol consumption has gone even up because a lot of more people are bored and a lot more people they have nothing to do.
Mm-hmm.
So saving rates are high, which means a lot of people have a lot more money. Retail spending is still high, but people are doing it for DIYs. They're upgrading like their children's bedroom and etc. because they have excess money, right? They're not commuting, they're not going out to eat. So a lot more people are spending, but that means that when people are inside, they have nothing to do. So people are turning alcoholics. So that's why, bro, actually, that's why I drink one time a week. I only drink on the weekends. You know, that's why I told you, because I realized like early in the quarantine, I was drinking wine every day. And you remember early in the podcast, like we'll be doing like shows throughout the week and we're sipping red wine, we're sipping white wine. I'm like, damn. Then you start putting the pounds, the LBs are starting to add up, bro. And I'm like, God damn it. You know?
Let me take a step back.
Yeah.
Let me take a step back. I got you. Yeah, I be drinking, but I try to monitor myself as well. You know, I make sure to try and balance myself. You know, I was talking about that in therapy actually, of like having like a balanced or a dispersed amount of releases. You know what I'm saying? Because alcohol can be one. Then you can have, you know, push-ups as one, or like working out as one. You can have maybe sex as one, massages as one, TV as one. So what like you need to mentally do is like have multiple releases or multiple ways of, you know, exerting energy or relaxing. That's like a beneficial way to go about it. You know, and that's really been helping me personally, you know, because I was drinking and I was starting to drink a lot, and I was like, all right, this is getting a bit much.
Man, and even when you drink a lot, especially wine, it has a lot of sugar into it. So one thing I realized, I started noticing I have skin discoloration.
Really?
Yeah, you know, like when you have a lot of wine and you have a lot of alcohol, you start noticing your skin isn't looking as healthy anymore. So I remember I was actually talking to my brother on FaceTime. He's just like, yo, bro, like, what's happening with your skin, bro? I'm like, what do you mean? He's just like, yo, you look like there's a lot of skin discoloration. Like one side of your skin is light, and then you have a lot of that's what he said. You have a lot of dark spots. And I'm like, Rod, like, what do you mean I have dark spots? So I started looking into it, and I was like, oh, okay, I get it. Like the alcohol, the sugar, it can make your face lose its color, its vibrancy. So that's why I really like stopped drinking Monday to Friday, and I only drink like Saturdays, and on a Sunday I might have a glass of wine. Or I mean, right now I just made you guys margaritas, so
which tasted amazing, by the way. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Owen's a whole bartender, eh? It's a heads up to everyone. Like, explain to people how like detailed you go when it comes to bartending.
Extremely detailed. What I do is the artistry of making a good beverage, bro, is all in the measurement, right? You put a little bit too much of something, it throws off the whole drink. So with this margarita, key things to making a margarita is Cointreau, which is a liqueur. It's an orange liqueur. You also have lemon juice. You have tequila, which, you know, a blanco preferably, because that, like, white tequila is, you know, actually dark tequila is seen as peasantry, eh?
Really?
Yeah. So when you go to Mexico, there's a different class system, and they see dark tequila as like the average man's drink, but like
that's insane.
Yeah, that's why you have like Patron, right? Like it's
and
high,
it's white.
It's white. It's high class.
That's so messed up. How is there colonialism in drink color? God.
Yeah, like
dang.
The peasantry, bro. So there's different brands which they're for the common folk of drinking tequila. So when you see someone drinking, it's just like, it's kind of like, it's looked historically, that's what it's been looked down upon, bro. So yeah, man, and you know, that's what I do, man. Of course, it's the end of the week. You know, at the end of this week, you know, the work week, we, you know, popped a bottle of Bel Air. You know, we had like a nice glass, you know, where we celebrated, we let loose, we chopped it up. Such a great drink, such a great rosé. It really goes well with the palate. And I'm happy we had that conversation, you, Mark, and I.
Mm-hmm.
And just like, it's good to like be as guys, when you talk about releases, that was one great, just as men talking, bro. You know what I'm saying? Touching upon career, relationships.
This people reacting to your career.
Yeah.
Because when you say what you do, there's a reaction that you get. It's either plus or minus, or they group you in their level of what you can add to their life.
Yeah. So our friend Mark was telling us, he's a lawyer. Well, he has one more exam to go, but every time he introduces himself, and he says, "I'm a lawyer," and before he even said he's a lawyer, he notices the change in how people react to him. Oh my God, you're a lawyer.
You're
what?
a lawyer? Oh my gosh!
Like, like it's speaking of Mark, actually, he actually just texted me right now.
Get out of here.
Yeah, he's like, "Hey man, we had to head to the airport." So he had his lady friend come visit him. She was supposed to come downstairs.
Don't be snitching on him now.
I know, no snitching. Everybody knows.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah. What do you think of that, bro? Like this whole thing, like people value you to what you do.
Oh, that's been happening to me like since high school. You know what I'm saying? It's interesting, like growing up in such a my bad. Growing up in such a diverse, neighborhood, I was able to have both the upbringing of you're a high value person and you're a low value person. So I got to see both sides of it. Or I remember one time I went to go into fashion, instead of like engineering, because in high school that's when you make that decision, right? And I saw like people around me start making decisions like, oh, you're going into fashion? Like they're looking at you crazy.
They see fashion as it's like a women's lane or something like that? Of
course, they see it as a woman's lane. They see it as a low paying, career job. So they really, I could see the devaluing already from that standpoint. Then when I said, hey, I'm going into university for business, they're like, oh, you're going to university for business? You know what I'm saying? So you always get different reactions from people because at the end of the day, people are usy. They want to know how you can use them or how you can be useful. So it's humans are going to human at the end of the day.
And also we use it to compartmentalize how do we group you in what category, right? Even if we don't know it, we make that, there's a shelf in our heads that exists. So, oh yeah, I'm a lawyer, I'm an engineer. Okay, I'm going to group you right here. Oh yeah, I'm like, I work at so-and-so, I'm going to put you right here, right? It doesn't matter like what it is. Oh, like what's your title here? And I noticed that at work, especially in sales, we're talking to VPs, chiefs of whatever. And I noticed the way we act, like when we actually have conversations with these people, they're regular people. Like if I met you on the street, like it'll be like, hey. But now the fact that we know that you belong, you're up here for this big ass company, we notice like it's like a very needy tone you have with them, because it's like you feel like they hold the keys towards something and you don't even know what that something is.
Yeah. You know who's holding our keys? The government right now, because they just blocked off all types of flights. And we can't even go nowhere.
We're stuck, bro.
We stuck. So, what do you think's gonna happen to the airlines, man?
Oh man, I mean, the other day we were just talking about Air Canada and how it's an amazing stock to invest in, which it still is. But
yeah, because it's plummeting.
It's plummeting right now. But hey, I mean, they think that this thing is gonna hold us back from getting the.
Right now it's $20. It's gone down 4% over the last few days,
which is nothing, right? Because it's still April, so it's
still April. I mean, still January, going into February.
Right? But the restrictions will stop in April, right?
Yeah.
I just do they just think there's only warm? This is what I find interesting. They blocked off to warm countries, which is Mexico,
all the Caribbean.
I mean, you can go to Africa. You can go to a place like Mauritius.
Yeah, it's weird. The sun, because I know what it is that it's more expensive though, right? Whereas you can get like a plane trip to Jamaica for like $300.
Cuba
You
is
know?
Cuba on the list?
Probably.
Probably.
Yeah. I can pull it up, but
Yeah.
most likely all the sun countries, you know, so
they're really trying to hold us back like that.
These people can't hold me back. These people can't hold me back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it's unfortunate,
it's
bro.
lockdown extreme, man.
Yeah. So what can we do, man? What can we do? What we can do is invest. I'm taking my money and I'm taking some Air Canada stock. You know, this is not financial advice. You know, guidelines.
Disclaimer, right?
You know, this is not financial advice. Yeah, I'll be taking some Air Canada stock and seeing what happens with that. Yeah. I'm excited to get into it. I officially get approved tomorrow.
For your Wealthsimple?
For my Wealthsimple.
Oh my God, bro.
I'm finally going to be able to start investing and, you know, making some money for myself.
How does it feel to hop into that transition?
Bro, you know what? It feels amazing.
What held you back? That's what I want to know. What held you back?
You know what? That's a great question. What held me back is...
Bro, because you know why?
What's up?
We've been having this conversation for...
Months,
even a year. I've been like, Al, here's TD Direct Investing. Check it out. And you're like, all right, cool. I was like, all right, I thought you might have signed up. And I was like, hey, I saw Den and Steph do Wealthsimple. I'm like, this is it. You have to get in. And then you're like, okay, cool. So back to what I asked. What held you back from making that step?
I think it was the fear of the unknown that held me back. Honestly, seeing Den, shout out to Den, walk through Wealthsimple, I was like, oh, this looks very simple. Mm-hmm. You know, it feels uncomfortable to walk into something that I'm spending my money in without me knowing what's going on. You know, so I wanted to really do my research, and I've started to do my research, started to look at a bunch of content. I'm going to, you know, the Market Monday, shout out to Earn Your Leisure. I'm going into, you know, different YouTube channels. I'm going to Dan's. I'm going to shout out to my cousin Jordan Bryant. Oh, I give us whole government, my bad, bro. But I'm going to my cousins and seeing what they're doing. So I'm really like taking time to learn. All right, now that I've strapped myself with some of the learnings, now let me take my foot and start dipping it in like Terry Fox, and you know,
one step at a time, bro.
Exactly. So that's what you know made me take some pause and joining in, and of course like everything going on with you know, Gamestop and Dogecoin. I'm like, all right, there's something here. And listening to
Pompliano.
Exactly, on the Joe Budden podcast, I was like, all right, maybe it's time for me to get in this shit.
Yeah, you know, the one thing a lot of people misconstrue is that they like sitting on their cash, right? Saving. You know, saving is great, and you should always have a saving, but over time, that dollar loses its value, right? What a dollar could purchase in 2007, the 2021 dollar can't do the same thing. So that dollar loses value, but investing is where it's at. So I think one of the things that this GameStop thing has happened, it's really showed people like us the value of actually having power, the value of having something to say about the market. It's just not up to the hedge fund guys, right? And I think before even you coming into it, I was always intimidated by stock markets and everything like that. But over time, I got so comfortable with it by just making like smart investments. I've made some dumb investments in cannabis. I lost some cash with that. Every time I log into my portfolio and I see that, I'm like, God damn, like what was I thinking? Right? And you know what happened, bro? It's funny. It all comes back full circle. The way that the momentum shifted for GameStop is the same way cannabis was 3 years ago, right? Cannabis. Like you think you want to ride the momentum, and then things just came back crashing down. Like none of these stocks had the value that they predicted is that, and you just kind of like you're you're left holding the bag, right? That's why they say a lot of people are going to get hurt with this, and I was one of those people. I came in and I was very excited to make some money. I saw a lot of people make money, and hey, I didn't make it at the time. So it goes to show that when you're coming in these trends and you ride the momentum, get in there early, make money, and if you're gonna stay, get out. If you still want to take your profits and just play with house money, bro. So yeah, man, I'm happy that you're investing. We can actually help each other out. We can send each other like learning material and make smart investments, bro.
That's what we got to do. That's what we got to do, man.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Anything else you want to cover, man, before you get out of here?
That's it. I mean, hey, February 1st tomorrow.
Happy Black History Month.
Black History Month. And
yes, indeed.
That's it, bro.
Awesome. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, the hustle is what you can't control. So control your grind. I control your life. I'm Alex.
And I'm Owen.
And that's Hustle Over Everything. Peace. Hey, what's up, guys? To support this show for free, here are some main options. If you're on Apple, make sure you rate and write a review of our podcast. This makes a huge difference and helps support the show. If you're on Spotify, follow us. If you're on Google Play, hit subscribe and auto-download so you'll be notified and have a fresh pod ready to go when we drop. Lastly, make sure you share the podcast on Instagram or whichever social platform you use and tag us. On Twitter, we're at 24/7 Hustlers. On Instagram, we're at 24/7 Hustler. And on Facebook, we're Hustle Over Everything. And now, guys, gotta pay attention to this point. We just dropped a new newsletter. It's called The Underrated. It's a weekly newsletter that breaks down untold stories that highlight game-changing business strategies that shape our sports, music, and culture. It drops once a week on Mondays, early in the morning, to prep you for the week. So subscribe to that, and we'll see you in the pod.